Thank you, Chad. Well, it's certainly my pleasure to be one wrapping up the program this morning, and I just have a few different areas to share with you about some of the new things that we've put up on our website. And so I know that most of you probably don't go and peruse the website on a regular basis just to see what's new up there, but I do know one person that does, and Wayne Cast already had called me about 2 days after we posted it that he found that we had updated our recommendations for our vitamin premixes and had those posted up on the web. So the reason we updated our premix recommendations is that there's been several new Phytase sources, new generation sources that have been coming out to the industry and entered into the market. And the cost of Phytase also has come down in terms of the relative value that it provides us to the diet. And so we wanted to increase the levels of Phytase that we were using in the formulations. And also, we already had a number of our producers in Kansas that were using a single product for a sow VTM, and really it made a lot of sense, especially as we've gone to more multi-site production and more mills that were only making sow diets. It didn't make much sense to have the vitamin, trace mineral, and the sow ad pack if all they're making is sow feed in that particular mill. And so we did away with our sow ad pack and made a sow VTM. So those are the three main things that I wanted to go through with them. The biggest one, though, is the Phytase changes. The Phytase, what we did is a number of things that changed in terms of our premix and how we look at Phytase. We used to have in our old recommendations is we tried to standardize all of the Phytase sources based on an analyzed AOAC method. We did away with that. And we went back to now we're using the guaranteed analysis from the manufacturer, using their Phytase analysis, and then using their data, using their Phytase analysis. We went through and did an analysis of all of the Phytase sources, and by we, I mean mostly Jordan. Give you the credit and the blame, but Jordan did the statistical analysis of this, but to figure out for each source based on bone mineralization. And so there's going to be some argument about, some people want to base their Phytase inclusion based on average daily gain or feed efficiency. We used bone mineralization as our requirement, or basically what we thought the Phytase sources replaced. And so that's why when you look at these different values, you got to be careful in terms of looking at those numbers and say, well, we need more of this one, less of that one. It's all relative to that company's assay for Phytase, okay? But you can use any one of those sources. With our calculator, it says that the 1.5 pounds of late finishing diet, you should have about a 0.13% digestible phosphorus release. So we based our inclusion rate so that you don't have to add any extra Phytase on a late finishing diet. But that means that if you use this premix in an early nursery diet, you got more Phytase than you may want or need in an early nursery diet. But that's to give you the background of how we came up with our levels. So that'll be in those specifications. And then on the sow VTM, we went to the 10-pound inclusion rate. The 10-pound inclusion rate then would have all the vitamins, trace minerals, including the choline, all mixed in it. One of the things for those of you that are using a product like that know that once you mix the choline and the trace minerals together with the vitamins, your shelf life goes down considerably compared to having the vitamins by themselves. And so you got to be careful on turnover and making sure you use up that product. We really want it gone in the feed mill within 60 days of manufacturing for sure. Okay? So you want to make sure you take that into account. But the other thing that it does provide opportunities that we haven't had in the past when we've had the vitamin premix for the nurseries and the finishing pigs and use the same one for the sows, is we couldn't do some of those specific things for sows. We haven't built all these things in terms of our specs right now, but we've put them in there as an opportunity for you. They use high D as an example. They use the vitamin D source that there's been more and more data showing the benefits of that for sows. That would probably more value there than what we'd have on a finishing pig standpoint as an example. It also allows us to use chelated or the hydroxy trace minerals as a portion of to replace a portion of the inorganic trace minerals if you choose to do that. And the Phytase level we use in the sow diets then is we've used the same level that we would have in about 3 pounds of our vitamin premix recommendations. Okay? Just to give you a couple of the trials that we've done over the last year to look at some of these vitamins and trace minerals. we have one of our newer graduate students, Hilario from Argentina, did a study for us. This was in the field where we did 2 times our current vitamin recommendations because we basically wanted to see are we giving up some performance with our current levels versus going higher. And so we just took the same premix and went double the level and fed these in the finishing facilities in the field. And you can see here is that with some pretty good PRRS challenges that these pigs went through during the grow finish stage, we still had no difference in performance between our current or doubling the vitamin levels in those diets. And then another opportunity area, and this particularly, if you want to increase the selenium status of the pigs, particularly if you're having some issues, and we still have some oxidation issues in some of our nursery pigs in particular in the field, did a very large study with hordes in Ohio, and the selenomethionine source, here you can see that you can increase the level of serum selenium and the muscle selenium with that particular source of methionine over our sodium selenite or over the selenium yeast product. As I finish up, I wanted to remind you that Swine Day is one of our big meetings we have during the year. The other big meeting we have is our Profitability Conference. Profitability Conference, we're scheduled for Tuesday, February 8th. That'll be held at our Stanley Stout Center. Really encourage you to put that on your calendar. It's really the Profitability Conference is focused much more around the economic side of the industry and try to bring in a lot of outside speakers, and that's longer talks than what our fast-paced Swine Day kind of is. I really enjoy our Profitability Conference and we're going to bring that back live again in 2022. Graduate student achievements, I do want to show you just that you've seen all the data this morning from a number of our projects. There's a number of projects obviously that we haven't had time to go through that are also in our Swine Day publication. It was brought up at the beginning is we've got a little over 55,000 pigs that are involved in studies in our Swine Day publication this year. It's the most we've ever had in the history of the group. So a lot of times we've heard about, and actually across campus sometimes people are, well, it's over COVID time, we can't really do as much, we can't be in the office, we can't do this, can't do that. Our graduate students had more trials, had more publications in this last year than we ever have done in history in our group. And so I really want to thank all the graduate students, and I know that they put an awful lot of work in, and I know they were out weighing feeders this morning before Swine Day because with the pigs on test, and so really appreciate that. But you can see by the number of achievements, we've got not only hard-working grad students, but some pretty bright students in the group, and the awards that they've won, we're quite proud of the group. Also wanted to bring up one of our swine faculty, alumni members that we're going to recognize on December 6th. Roy Henry, this is an award that is voted on by the Department of Animal Science. You have to be an alumni of our department, which is one of the requirements to win this award. But it's voted on, nominated and then voted on by all the faculty in the Department of Animal Science. And Roy Henry has been recognized as our distinguished alumni here coming up in just a couple of weeks. You can just see a number of the things that Roy's obviously been involved in the swine industry, been very, very active over the years, and from KPA here in Kansas to the National Pork Producer Council to the National Pork Board, and also very important for us in terms of here at K-State, his involvement on the Livestock and Meat Industry Council. And so, Roy, I know I saw you come in the room somewhere. If you're still in here. I want to congratulate you, and looking forward to having Roy on campus to recognize him. And as I finish up, the afternoon session, I want to remind you what's happening in the afternoon. At 1:30, we have the feed safety update. Jordan Gebhardt and Cassie Jones will be telling you about all the research that's been going on in that arena, and obviously a lot of work on with the importance with ASF concerns. So I really encourage you to be back in the room in time for that. Roger Main on the Swine Health Improvement Plan, and then John DeYoung adapting to the changing swine industry, and of course finishing up with the Call ice cream at the end. And Bob, I think one of the most rewarding things about the program, I was thinking about this driving in today, is that Bob and I, of course, are the old guys in the block now for our group. We've been all of the people that you're seeing today, including the afternoon program, we've been a part of their committees as they're going through school. That's quite a rewarding part and a lot of fun. So that's a very, very nice opportunity, and we went through this in a record time this morning.